Welcome to the next episode of Apple News and Rumours. So, I'll start off the episode by talking about some brand new entry level iPads. Apparently, they're supposed to adopt basically an iPad Air 3 design, and if I remember correctly, I believe they have slightly thinner bezels, but they still have a home button. So it's not the bezel-less iPad entry level iPad we would have liked, but there you go. And there's another slightly disappointing news that the iPad Pro for this year, which presumably will be released this March, won't have a new design. But when you think about it, everyone loved the previous design, so we're in no rush to get a new one. Next up is M1 market share has reached 0.8%, so that's pretty good. And apparently, the guys at Trendforce, they're apparently saying that by summer, 7% of all Macs will be running their M1, which is kind of crazy. You went from an experimental, potentially, I don't know, gimped first generation silicon chip that maybe you shouldn't get to something everyone kind of loves and really wants to get this year. I do feel like the pandemic has really upped the demand for laptops, and this one's a really good one. This range. And kind of linking to that is, so there are rumors that there will be a new 14-inch and a 16-inch MacBook Pro coming next year with silicon, with Apple Silicon, and they're basically saying that Trendforce themselves are basically saying that will really up the numbers when it comes to sales and percentage of laptops using M1. Anyway, enough of that. So the next thing. That I think this is from Patently Apple, and they're basically showing that Apple is considering to add a wireless charger to the palm rests of their MacBooks so that you can wirelessly charge your phone and an Apple Watch. And I don't know about this. I mean, they would have to make the palm rests not metal, which seems highly unlikely, or they would have to make it work on the touchpad, but think about it, you're going to use a touchpad all the time, so it's one of those patents that are just done for the sake of being patented. Never mind. Also, Foxconn released their latest revenue expectations or revenue numbers, and it looks like the iPhone 12 is selling gangbusters. And I do remember before people saying that, oh, this generation won't be a super cycle. And yes, I mean, the iPhone is not absolutely amazing. I mean, iPhone is on version 12 now, I suppose. Probably a higher number, actually, when you... The numbering scheme is a bit weirder, to be honest. But people from the iPhone 10, their phones are getting starting to get kind of old, and they need a new phone, and this is the latest one available. Also, kind of relating to a previous episode I've done. So it looks like the Apple glasses are reaching... have finished their second phase of development and now going to be pushed into a third phase of development that will just take a couple months. And they said once that's done, in about 6 to 9 months of engineering verification, I suppose that's a technical term, they will aim to reduce the weight of it and increase the battery life of the device. So that sounds really interesting, but I'm still a little unsure about it being released this year. I think what's more likely, best case scenario, is, well, unless this article is old news, but a latest article, they at best could announce it this year and release it in a year and a half, maybe, and that may or may not even hit 2023. But yeah, I think 2022 is still a little bullish. I think 2023 is a good date, especially with Mark Gurman saying that. Another interesting thing is that Apple is highlighting that their service in 2020 has set a new spending record. And I'm not surprised. I mean, everyone's at home. They got their new iPhones, new MacBooks, and they kind of need to buy something to work with. And some hard numbers is that Sensor Tower are showing that from 2019 to 2020, the App Store, so customers spent $55.5 billion, and which is a lot. But in 2020, there was a 72.3 billion in spending. So that's a 30% increase, which is insane in 1 year. That's a lot of moolah. That's a lot of nice Apple tax Apple's getting. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised the antitrust people are going to say a thing or two about that. But there you go. Oh, another thing. So going to the iPhone 13 Pro models are supposedly going to be using a new Samsung LTPO technology for 120 hertz for a 120 hertz display, which is a bit, I believe, a bit misleading because I think the iPhone currently already has that kind of technology. It just needs something extra. So I think Apple's just spent a bit more time to improve the efficiency of the screen so that it can actually be a variable refresh rate, because it's all well and good if it's running at 120, but it's going to run out of battery really quickly. So do you want to do a ProMotion technology that's on the iPad Pro that can go between, I don't know, 24 frames per second all the way to 120, and that will conserve the battery and hopefully not hinder performance, not hinder, your enjoyment of the device that much. Next thing is, so everyone kind of knows that the iPhone 12 is doing really well, but the big if and the big experiment Apple did this year, which most companies don't do, they released a premium, high-end, small phone. Obviously, this would have been considered a big phone a couple of years ago, but now it's small. So the iPhone 12 mini is apparently only 8% of the sales of iPhones since launch time, which is a bit troublesome. It makes me kind of think that maybe Apple is going to kill the device next year. But then again, maybe they always thought it would be a low seller and that they're fine with that. But there's a lot of investment of energy just to make a low selling phone. So I'm not sure what the long term implications are. Possibly things will change from next year. People having less money to spend, maybe they're more willing to get the cheaper phone. And yeah, I think that will be the end of my second episode of Apple News and Rumours. So thank you everyone for listening and watching, and I hope you enjoyed the episode so far. Bye.